And I'm your host, Michelle White. And tonight we've got guests from Citizens for Prison Reform. You know, there's a lot going on within the prison system. There are several organizations that are helping with prison reform, helping with conditions both inside and outside of prison. So if you've got someone that's currently in prison or just came out of prison or just want to know about what's going on within the system, give us a call here this evening at 313 427 2032. Again, that's 313 427 2032. And so this evening we've got June Walker. She's one of the community organizers for Citizens for Prison Reform. And we have Rosalind Davidson. She's a returning citizen. She came out in 2014. And then we also have, that will be calling in on the line, Hakeem Crampton, who is the government relations person for liaison for the Citizens for Prison Reform organization. So, on community updates, we like to share with our communities all the different things that are happening. And there are a lot of people that have loved ones that are in prison or have come out of prison and still, how they're reconnecting into society, how they're reconnecting with their families. And your organization helps them with all of those things.
Yes, we do.
Awesome. So you want to tell us a little bit? I know that the Citizens for Prison Reforms is a grassroots, family-led initiative that engages and educates and empowers families and that are affected and those affected by crime and punishment to advance the Constitution's civil rights. Yes.
Okay, well, you just stated our mission.
Yes.
And
Saw that on your website.
Oh, right. Right. Okay.
So tell us a little about bit. I met you at one of the meetings that I attended a few months ago because I serve rather in both Huron Valley Women's Prison, which is the only prison women's prison within the state of Michigan.
Right.
And then I also serve in Macomb County Correctional Facility, which is one of our men's penitentiary. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a maximum security facility in Macomb.
Well aware. Yes. Mm-hmm. I've been doing prison ministry for over 20 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good.
So I go in weekly. Only Sunday I don't go in is fourth Sunday.
Okay.
Every month, first, second, third, and fifth, I'm serving in the prisons.
Okay. Very good.
And then with my White Foundation, Charity Foundation organization, we collect recyclable furniture and home goods and helping our environment, and then we give them away to those in need, and that can be returning citizens.
That's good to know.
People, seniors, disabled,
Right.
homeless.
That's good
well,
to
not
know.
homeless. They need to have a home
Well,
to
yeah,
put
but
the
they're
items
coming
in.
out of homeless,
Coming
right,
out of homeless.
yeah.
So we work with different organizations that help people get a home, a Crossroads and several others, and then we put the furniture in the pots and pans and
I
things.
have a crib for you, brand new,
Awesome.
still in the box, baby crib for a girl.
Okay. Well, we will be going out soon. We'll talk more about that, and we'll pick it up. So we come and pick up your items. The White Charity, WYTE Foundation.com, WYTE Foundation.com, who is also one of our sponsors. And also we have ABB Wealth Strategies, who is one of our sponsors, and WYTE Charity, no, just WYTE Foundation.com is the website.
Okay.
Yes, and so we pick up we're helping the environment by picking up recyclable items that people would otherwise throw out. And they think when they're throwing them out
That's good to
that,
know.
yeah, I'm glad you're
And
here.
so the name of it is White Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's important for people coming home from prison or women coming out of domestic violence shelters or homeless shelters that resources are available. But it's one thing to have resources, but if they don't know, like I've heard of other places that give away furniture, but I didn't know you had an organization. And now that's another organization that we need to get out there in the public and let the community know exists.
Yes, we've served almost 4,000 homes. So we've been doing it for a minute, but we're starting to publicize it a lot more. Well, it's just word of mouth is getting it out there, as well as the other organizations that we work with.
If I may, there's a problem with that. The returning citizens not having the proper ID and things of this nature. They treat the card that they give you on your way out the door like you have HIV.
So Crossroads is an organization that helps you get ID. MRS is another.
Yes,
good
but there's a waiting list.
Okay, well, I don't do that.
I know, but I'm just saying, my experience was when I first came home, I've been out 12 years. My experience was they give us, you pay for your ID, your birth certificate, Social Security, the whole nine. And once you get there, June is my mentor. I've been with June for about 12 years now.
Yeah, we were introduced when she was incarcerated.
Right.
And then we just remained friends even after she got out and started living her life.
Yeah, so certain things I found out as time went on. Whatever I find out, I let June know, hey, this is new, this is new. Give the people this, give the people that. Let them know what's going on,
Do you have any trouble getting food?
No.
Because I don't know why people are still having trouble getting food. Forgotten Harvest and Gleaners give out food every day,
Yes.
except for Sunday.
I never have a problem.
Yeah,
with that.
but at the same time,
I think
the food stamps have been drastically cut down. So where a person would normally get, say, $200 or $300 a month, they probably get maybe $100. Some of them all the way 75. I know a lady. She's
They're
a
still
senior,
getting food,
but she,
and a lot of times they don't need as much as they get on
right,
food
that's
stamps.
true.
And even though they might be getting food through food stamps, they can still go to Forgotten Harvest or Gleaners or any of the food banks that are giving out food.
That's
for
true.
free. Just
However,
drive up and get it.
I believe
Yeah, but
that
That's
But let's
if you
talk
have-
about the Citizens
thank
for Prison
you.
Reform.
Okay, great.
transportation is
Okay,
effective.
because one of the programs Citizens for Prison Reform operates is the FPP, short for Family Participation Program.
Okay.
And that's the advocacy part of the program, family to family. We believe that if, like for peer-to-peer recovery, family to family advocacy, because if somebody's
So
helping
for
you,
those who don't know what peer-to-peer is, that's where you take a person that has been in recovery of some
have
sort
that lived
and
experience,
lived experience, and then put them with a mentor.
or
to
with a
help them.
family. And so what we like to do is invite families to come in into our organization, and we'll train you to become a community organizer and an advocate.
So Citizens for Prison Reform, you're saying, has a peer-to-peer program where they train people to be a family advocate. What
Right.
about substance abuse recovery?
No,
advocate,
we only
just
deal
families
with
or
we
people that have
only
been
deal with
incarcerated?
families with a incarcerated loved one,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Or and through the reentry part for ones that's coming home.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, yeah, but we have a meeting every fourth Saturday of the month.
Which is where I met you.
Right, and it's at 6900 McGraw. It's called Bridging Communities is the name of the building, and we meet from 1 to 3. Okay.
So you're gonna need to give that information again slowly for everybody who doesn't have their paper and pencil. Get your paper and pencil out. There's information that will be given that you want to jot down. Again, this is Community Updates podcast. If the information is not for you specifically, still write it down. There's a reason why you're tuned in this evening. You might run across someone who needs that information. I have people with grandchildren or their children, and they're calling, can you talk to my son? Can you talk to my daughter? Or can you reach out? So share this information with someone else. So share that bridge.
Okay, so every fourth Saturday of the month, which June 28th is the next day we'll meet, the next Saturday, and we meet at a building, Bridging Communities. It's at 6900 McGraw Street. That's McGraw. It's from 1 to 3 p.m. And see, what we do is we provide family to family advocacy and assistance to families who have an incarcerated loved one. And so that's the premise being family to family. If you're in a situation and you're being helped by someone, it's and for that experience, it's best to have someone who has that lived experience. So for a family who has someone in prison and they come and get the training and they become an advocate, then they can help another family who has someone in prison, and then that family can come in and get the training, and then we'll build a coalition of advocates through the education, through engagement and training.
Mm-hmm.
We engage the families for all those who contact Citizens for Prison Reform,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll provide assistance to them. Okay, and then also we'll be on June 7th. I don't know if they can see that. On June 7th, the Family Participant Program will be at Church of the Messiah.
Camera right here.
Church of the Messiah
Awesome.
on East Grand Boulevard. And we will have our solitary confinement cell there. So for people who's not familiar with solitary confinement or the cell or anything, there will be one there, and then we'll have a table with literature, and we'll also be there to sign up people who want to learn how to become an advocate, how to speak to your legislature regarding matters of going on with their loved one that might be incarcerated or coming home from prison.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Church of the Messiah is located at 231 East Grand Boulevard. And that's June 7th at 10 a.m. That's the Stop the Violence rally.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of keep your voice towards your microphones as best you can. Somebody's sharing that your voices seem a little low. So I'll do
I'm
the
sorry.
same.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. You don't have to look into it because you've got your camera in front of you. But I want them to hear everything that you're saying very well.
Okay, thank you. But so the main thing is we would like for you to go to our website, which is micpr.org, O-R-G. And on the website, you will see FPP, family participation, and then you scroll down and you will see a volunteer sign up form. And that's what we like you to do so we can get you trained. And it's because there's a way to talk to members of the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
And so we train you to do that. And also to provide assistance to other families who, because, families, they catch a lot of hell, excuse my language,
Mm-hmm.
with the Michigan Department of Corrections or someone in their family being incarcerated, because that person was there and now it's like they're gone, they're died because their presence is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then if you haven't never had any contact with the criminal justice system, you really don't know what's going on. So first thing they do, is go out and hire a lawyer, pay all this money, and then that person still gets a life sentence or 20 or 30 years, right?
Well, it's a lot of people, from what I understand, they're told they can do plea bargaining, but it's really oftentimes a trick when they try to plea bargain. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think it's a way, according to the pundits, it's a way to keep the wheels of the criminal justice system turning.
Mm-hmm.
But see, because it's overloaded, but there are some inherent problems with the criminal justice system as it is set up, and so now you have overcrowding. You also have where the mental hospitals were shut down when Engler was governor, and so you had the prison become the mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so families go through a lot, and then another program that Citizens for Prison Reform if you have a problem with visitations,
Mm-hmm.
visiting your loved one, they will walk hand in hand with you and make sure some kind of way you get your visits back, especially if it was injustice, the way you lost your visits or how the family loses visits, because you got to keep the person incarcerated in contact with the family members and friends, because eventually they want them to come out, but they want them to come out and act like they're a human being. But you had them in a 4x6, 4x4 cell.
Now, have you ever been to prison yourself?
No, I've been to jail,
Okay.
but no, God was with me.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, yes, it is a problem. Because you have, when you first, excuse me, what was your question?
I was saying that I believe sometimes I've been shared that it's a trick when they try to get you to plea bargain.
It is.
Mhm.
It is. I experienced it.
Mm.
I did 18 years in
Mhm.
prison.
Mhm.
I've been out 12.
Mhm.
At first, I had letters, LIFE. I had to go back to court to get the numbers.
So they had given you life,
Yes.
and you had to go back to get your sentence reduced
Yes.
to have a timeout date.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, God.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
And so, what has been your experience since you've been out? What are you doing now?
Well, right now I'm disabled.
Mhm.
I had 2 strokes
Mhm.
because life has been hard, but it's been doable. You know, I worked and everything. I crochet. I do a lot of things. I have my own business, and I try to keep contact with my sisters upon their releases and give them resources. Try to participate in anything I can.
Mhm.
You know, anything I'm able to do, I do it.
So I thought it was nice when I came to the Citizens for Prison Reform meeting,
Mhm.
and you had several people there who were formerly incarcerated people who we like to call friends now, and because they're getting reacclimated back to society, and it's important to not keep that identity.
Right.
But I think it's equally as important to know where you came from, share, and help
Right.
someone else.
I don't
Don't
mind
just come
saying-
out. Well, some people do.
I don't.
And I think that's not great either.
Right.
I'm not saying forever in a day you have to, but
Right.
there's a time period. I've had different experiences.
Yes.
And I share them for several reasons. Number one, God didn't bring me out of all that for me to just
That's
be quiet
right.
and act like it never
That's
happened.
right.
And then number two, it keeps me thankful and grateful. And then it's for to help someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I go into the prisons, it amazes me how certain testimonies I'm able to share with the women at certain times on things that help them. When I was there, I think the third Sunday, their mouths were hanging open. Oh my God, you did that? You did?
Well, I
Let
mean,
me
but
share-
for
let
the
me
grace of
share
God,
with you-
there go I.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
And I
so-
used to help people I used to work for the Salvation Army and share and take my son down to Cass Corridor and all that and help pass out food, and saying, there before the grace of God go I.
Yes.
Never recognizing that one day it ended up being I.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. But yes, ma'am, you wanted to share what?
Yeah, yesterday I have a granddaughter. She's 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
She has 3 charges. She's facing 25 years. She finna follow my footsteps.
Mm.
And it's really, really hard. Last night I had a panic attack because I tried to hold my composure. Seeing my son, he walked out the courtroom. It was really hard to see that. She a replica of me. You know, that it's really, really hard. But I believe that God can change all things around long as she get her mind right.
And then you want to be, even though you feel that she is a replica of you, you want to be mindful to still speak life over her.
Yes.
And break the generational
Yes.
curses that happened with you.
Amen.
So don't keep saying she's a replica of you, even though that's, a kind of
Right.
somewhat of a reality.
Right.
You don't want to keep putting that in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I just noticed it last night.
Mhm.
You know.
And so just keep speaking life over her. She's going to Huron Valley. Tell her to come to
Yeah.
the Brightmoor Christian Church services. We're there every second, third, and fifth Sunday.
I know all about it.
No, there's different places. I said come to the Brightmoor Christian
Oh,
Church.
Brightmoor. I know about Brightmoor too. My son used to live in Brightmoor.
No,
I used to live in
I said come to the services that we have
in the,
Yeah,
in
my
the
son-
in
prison.
Huron Valley,
Oh,
where your
oh,
daughter is
oh.
going. There's only one women's prison
Got you.
in Michigan.
I know
That's
that.
Huron Valley.
I know that.
So that's where she's
Yeah.
going, and I'm there every second, third, and fifth Sunday
Okay.
through Brightmoor Christian Church. You need to be writing it down. You need ink pen.
No, I know all about it.
Okay.
I got CEOs that still keep in touch with me. I crochet, all that. They still come to my house and crochet byproducts for me.
Awesome.
So I got some connects in the inside.
Awesome. But before we talk, I want people to know you can call in at 313-427-2032. You're tuned in right now to WJZZ, the coolest station in the world.
Sure is.
And, and you're right here on Community Updates podcast on WJZZ CoolTV. You can watch us every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on either on WJZZ's Facebook page or go to YouTube, type in WJZZ CoolTV or Community Updates, and you can watch us. All the replays are on YouTube. So tune in every Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. right here on WJZZ CoolTV. And you can call us tonight at 31 right between 6 and 7. Don't call after 7. 313-427-2032. I'll repeat that, 313-427-2032. Again, this evening we have June Walker and Rosalind Davidson, both with the Citizens for Prison Reform. We were looking to have Hakeem tune in, but he's informed me that he had he's on another meeting, so he couldn't call in and do both. So we won't see Hakeem this evening. So June, you were getting ready to share something?
Yes,
I'm
I
currently
was going to
present
share
on the
with
call.
the
Can you hear me?
community also that if you can't, the meetings on the Saturdays are in person. So you have, if you want to come and sit and be a part of the community of families, and then also they are virtual meetings. So if you can't make the in-person meeting, you can go on to the website micpr.org and click on the link and attend the meetings virtually.
That's good to know, because I actually, when I attended the meeting that I came to a month or so ago, oh my goodness, it just made my day.
Well, I'm
The
glad.
information, the people, the mixture of people
Right.
and organizations, it was wonderful.
So I'll see you
And
on
they
the
have snacks. No, I don't know when you
Right.
see me. I do furniture on Saturday.
That part.
Okay,
That
yeah,
particular
but
Saturday, I didn't do furniture.
okay, so the fourth Saturday, will you?
I know.
You don't know. Okay.
So, but now that I know I can Zoom in,
Right.
that's another option. So
Exactly.
even while I'm out and about, I can zooming in. I can do that from the car.
Okay. And Citizens for Prison Reform is based and organized in Lansing, and it was formed. Its founders were people who had the lived-in experience of having someone incarcerated or having been incarcerated themselves. Okay, and so that's another reason why they favor family-to-family advocacy.
So Lois DeMott, was she the
Well, she's Polano now.
Polano? Was she the originator?
Yes,
Okay.
her.
She began networking and meeting with prisoners and families across Michigan.
Well, she started by getting help for her son who was incarcerated, and he wasn't being treated properly, and so they she worked hard to get legislation changed and written, in fact, and or changed that would help people who were incarcerated with mental illnesses. Okay, but also she's seen the suffering that the families went through by losing their visits, or someone being put in solitary confinement and then you can't visit them, so they lose a lot of privileges like that. So CPR is moved into Detroit because they see the need for help in Wayne County, because I'd say 90% of the population, prison population in Michigan, come from Wayne County.
Mm.
Okay, so
What's the name of the other prison organization? I met the lady at your meeting. I can't think of her name.
fellowship.
Prison Fellowship. So they're really helping too to get people out of
She talking about Denise.
no. But I know they're really helping getting people out of prison as well. There's a couple of people that are helping to write letters. There's several organizations that are helping right now. Silent Cry and Josh
Michigan
Buckley,
Liberation.
Michigan Liberation.
They have a great program with the mothers they bail out.
Yeah.
But so CPR saw the need for more help in terms of bringing the community in, educating them on how to talk with the legislatures, how to write letters to the legislatures regarding your loved one or something you see that's in the criminal justice system in Michigan that needs to be changed. You can learn how to advocate for that change.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we really pushing to get the community involved, because it's
You
one
need more help.
yes, but see, it's one thing to have a lawyer or somebody to advocate for you, but it's a whole nother ball game when you can advocate for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and nobody can tell your story better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so we want to teach as many people as possible. We're really trying to get this out in the community. Come in and learn how to advocate, and then you can pass it down. You can teach it to your family, your neighborhood, your block club. We can get all those people in, and then we can marshal a coalition to get legislation changed.
Yeah, I even sat in on one of the Zoom meetings with different legislators. One of the organizations had you talking with the legislators to teach you how to advocate and how to go to to go to Lansing and
Right.
and write the letters. That was very good information to
And you
share.
and once you get educated and trained, you'll know how to, and eventually you can start your own advocacy committee or organization.
Okay.
But
We need to keep our voices very close. I'm still getting messages that your volume is very low for my guests.
oh, okay.
So just speak right into your mics as loud as you can, because we want everyone to hear everything that you're sharing, because the information is vitally important as we're revitalizing Michigan and all the wonderful things that are
Detroit.
happening in Detroit, and the new mayor to come, and just all the wonderful things that are happening. But this is equally as important to help our returning citizens, our citizens that are still incarcerated. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of things that are said not that great about Huron Valley Prison, and the living conditions, and the people being molested, and the water, and this, that. Did you experience that?
Yes, I did.
Tell us about what you can about
It's
that.
horrific.
You're speaking to your microphone.
It's horrific. They've been 2 years prior before I left. They've been filling the cleaning closets with bunk beds. It's almost like casket filled.
So the place is just overgrowing with.
Yes.
You don't want them to open up another women's prison. We want them to
Right.
let people out.
Right.
But it's overcrowded.
It's overcrowded. They put in females. People, women have died. I was there for 17 and a half years. You know.
And what about the water and the food and?
The water was brown. It was brown. It was contaminated. The food was awful. In the beginning, we had good food. Then they transfer over to this company. I forget what it's called.
Did you have to boil your water, or were you able to do that?
Yeah, in the microwave. We would
Okay.
save our water and boil it. Most of us would buy water off the commissary, such as myself.
But you don't get much money. Tell the audience about how much money do you receive when you're working in the prison?
It depends on your skill. I worked in the kitchen. I started out at 17 cents. I worked my way
Not
up.
$17.
17 cents an hour.
An hour.
hour. I work my way up to 32 cents.
And you have to buy many things yourself. Your toiletries.
Wait a minute. I became the clerk of food service.
Okay.
I became a clerk. I started paying everybody.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Paid them higher wages.
yes, the best I could. Everything I could give them, I would give them. You know.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it was, it was what I was trying to get out. Just go to school, stay working, be
So they have
educated.
an educational program in here on Valley.
Yes, ma'am.
Where people can get their degree.
Yes, ma'am. I have mines.
Mm-hmm.
I took food service, hospitality, and management, dental, know how to make teeth, carpentry, and
But because of your strokes, you weren't able to do any of those.
no,
things when you came
it
out.
wasn't because it was because I was a felon.
So when you came out, even
I,
though you
I
had
did
the
all of
educational
that for
training-
nothing.
Well, it wasn't for anything. It helped your mental. ability,
Yeah,
your
but for
skill
I
set.
couldn't use it. I took
So there were no places. and no
psychology.
people to
I
help
took
hire.
career planning and debate. I went to college.
So there needs to be. I don't know if you all deal with this. Some places that help people that have increased their skill set while in prison to find places that will hire them.
Yes.
Do you all work with that as well, or no?
Yeah, well, yes, because finding a lot of the skills that they're given in prison when they come home, unless it's truck driving or carpentry or something like that, really, I know a guy, he came out, he had taken barbership, learning how to be a barber while he was in prison, but when he came home, he found out the state of Michigan, because he had a felony, wouldn't allow him to get a license. So what good did that do?
Right. Certain
So I
things
think-
that you take in prison you cannot use when you come out.
But then there are other things, like I know
Speaking
people,
to your mic.
there are guys who are doing truck driving. They have their own trucks. They've been working steady, saving
So
their
they
money.
started their own business,
Right.
their own truck.
That's your
Right.
whole. That's the whole key.
Right.
You have to use your those skills as your benefit, and try to figure out how to build your own business, because they ain't got.
Now, I
They
know
don't have no
Michigan-
love for you out here.
Michigan Rehabilitation Services will help when they have it. They
They
give
used to,
money
but they not
to help
out
you
here
start a
no more.
business.
Not in Detroit. It's closed.
Is it closed?
The MRS is
I used
closed.
to take people there all the
It's
time.
been
I
2
knew they were
years.
closed.
Been 2 years.
Wow.
It's closed.
That's
You
sad.
have to turn to yourself or ask somebody else on Facebook or ask somebody that been in. Do you know somewhere I can get a job? Do you know where I can get this?
But
nobody
truck
get
driving,
that.
you're saying they can get their.
The
'cause I know
training
at
comes
Wayne
from
County
the city.
And Wayne County Community College has
Yes.
a free truck driving.
It's very
program.
successful.
The city of Detroit has one too.
Has one,
Detroit
too.
at
It's
work,
very successful.
and they pay all your expenses. They make sure you have your tools, your uniforms,
Yes.
any licenses you may need. They help with all of that.
And they're felony friendly.
Yes,
That very-
it's very successful.
So
I know
is D-Dot.
a lot of women that have their license
Okay.
and on the
D-Dot, too.
road.
DDOT is very felony friendly,
Yes.
and they'll train them. They'll show them how, help them get their license, their driver's license, and train them to drive the bus. And I got 3 guys that came out of prison the past couple of years, and they worked for DDOT.
Okay.
So I usually tell them when they come home, and they say, well, if you want a quick job, go with DDOT, because with the city you can move laterally,
Move around.
or you can go up, and so yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that Citizens for Prison Reform has an upcoming event. That's in 2 weeks.
June 7th.
Silence the Violence. It's their 18th annual Silence the Violence program. It's going to be on June the 7th at Church of the Messiah. And tell us what you plan to be talking about silence. I mean, obviously, we want people to silence some of the violence and the gang violence and whatever people are doing. But what are some of the things that you all are planning on doing that day? And then we're going to give you the address of the Church of the Messiah in just a moment.
Okay, yes. Okay, so what we'll have a table there with literature on there, on the table,
Mm-hmm.
telling upcoming events. We're going to have a volunteer form so you can sign up to volunteer and become trained. We're going to have the solitary confinement cell next to the table. So, and inside the cell, I shouldn't tell it, but because people going to come and look. But it's a replica of the solitary cell inside the prisons, and you can see it's really small.
That you want the people to come out and look.
Oh yeah, because they need to start.
It just piques my interest to come out.
Yes, and you should, because it's it's a it's a the solitary. We need to start having a conversation on ending solitary confinement. But we just can't end it. We got to have something to replace it with, because there are other parameters and dynamics involved.
So at the Silence the Violence event on June the 7th, starting at 10 a.m., you all are going to have a replica of a solitary confinement cell
Right.
at this event where people can see what it's about. And then are you looking to silence violence both within the prison system and outside of the prison system?
Both,
Okay.
within and without. But this Silence the Violence, this is the 17th year, 18th year, and it's to allow people who have lost a loved one to violence to come together with other people of the same situation and just be in community for a day. Because there's going to be a lot of legislators there, and they're going to be giving speeches. There are going to be a lot of community organizations there, and there'll be food and drink, water, not liquor, but water. And so, but this is, to come into community with people who've lost someone to violence, and hopefully to prevent future violent acts. If they see the community come out, it's going to be great.
I just have a friend that lost her grandson to violence and some type of accident. The result, there was some violence involved. And a young man, but the father is in prison in Macomb, as a matter of fact, and he came to our service a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
But it's just sad. There's too much violence, too much unnecessary violence.
Yes.
And people want to quickly go to the gun and end it all over the simplest thing.
Yes, ma'am.
You could be angry but sin not. Okay, you angry. We get angry all the time. But you have to know yourself. If you know that you're someone prone to violence or be quick to grab the trigger, then don't just carry a gun all the time. And I understand that people feel I got to carry a gun because that's what I'm around. Well, maybe you need to change your environment. If you can.
Let me tell you, let me share this with you as a returning citizen.
Yes, ma'am.
It was definitely a learning experience for me. I had to learn how to adapt to my family, my grandkids, life, period. I didn't know how to catch a bus, call June. She was my mentor for 10 years before I got out. And she stuck with me ever since. She's my best friend now. Anything that I find out that's resourceful, I will share with her. But when I first got out, it was traumatizing. They give you a card.
How did you deal with if you had any anger issues, how did you deal with them?
Very good, because of the class I took. I took
conflict resolution type class?
Anger management. They tell you I used my tool. I had my tool belt on.
Okay.
In case you come across this, use the hammer, use this, And I took
what does your tool belt consist of?
Hammers. You knock that thing in the head.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's back up. So some organization gave you a
no. It's imaginary.
Imaginary tool belt.
Imaginary tool belt.
Okay.
You have to use your imaginary hammer and just knock that thing out and going on
Or if
with
someone
the
says
next
something
problem.
that you don't like, you just got to learn to let it fly off your back.
Yes,
Mm.
and that's a very hard pill to swallow because I'm not no easy person. You know what I'm saying? That's a very hard, but I learned to adapt.
But guess what? That's hard for those of us who've been in prison and haven't been in prison.
Right.
We have to each learn how to control ourselves, know ourselves.
Yes, and I
and
did.
learn how to manage
I
that.
did.
But I'm
I
just
did.
saying that it was harder for you maybe because you were then incarcerated, and I can only imagine that after having been incarcerated, it made you a little harder. I get it. Because
No,
you have
it
to be
made
kinda
me
hard
it
in
made me
prison.
softer, but I was still
Did you have to be hard
underhandedly
in prison?
angry because I shouldn't have went.
Mm.
So I had some unresolved issues to deal with myself.
Mhm.
It wasn't nobody's fault but mine. My ultimate decision was mine.
Mhm.
So I had to learn how to cope with that and take full responsibility and be accountable. Once I learned that, I knew what I was dealing with. So, you know.
June, I know you want to share with us some more things that are happening with the
Well, I want to share
city.
the
Thank
address.
you for sharing that, Rouse.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That's the testimony of a lot of people
Yes.
who came home,
Yes.
made it through that period.
And some people had to be hard while they were in prison because of all the things going on. Even when you're hanging in the streets.
Yeah.
I know when I was hanging in the streets, I had to become much
Yeah.
harder
You have
because
to.
of the environment that I had put myself in.
Yes.
So I had to learn how to cuss
I had
you
to
out
change
real
my
good.
environment, my way of thinking, my way of being around some people, and all that.
Yes, yes.
Okay. The Stop the Violence campaign, June 7th at 10 a.m. at the Church of the Messiah, which is located at 231 East Grand Boulevard. That's 231 East Grand Boulevard, June 7th. And we will be in the church's parking lot with the solitary confinement cell and our table with literature and the volunteer forms. So I would ask the community to really consider to stop and think about becoming an advocate to help get legislation passed.
Now, is Hakeem still on the phone? I received a text saying Hakeem is on the phone. I didn't hear anybody say anything. But go ahead, June, until he says something.
Okay, and so because legislation like the good time bill and all of that,
Right.
it's been taking a long time to get those bills passed, but we need more advocates. We need more families to get involved, especially those with incarcerated loved ones. We need you to come and to get trained and educated and learn how to deal with legislators and city council people and just other people in general.
And people are coming out a lot on that. Forget what they called this bill, where you went in very young. And
Yes.
What's that
The
called?
Good time.
juvenile life
Juvenile
Juvenile
lifer.
lifer, yeah.
I have a
Yes.
nephew that has life.
Mhm.
He's getting ready to come out. He's so excited.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping.
We've been working
that
with
this
several
bill-
brothers that have come out under that bill.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And I have met a lot of young women that was in there with me in Huron Valley, and not just Huron Valley, Scots.
Mhm.
They were very young. They were like 14, 15. They grown women now.
Mhm.
And they got out. We done met up. You know, we have a picnic every year
Mm.
at Palmer Park.
Okay, that's nice.
Yep, that it's called SBS. What is it called?
Yeah, I thought
The Huron Valley Dolls.
yeah.
And we all meet up out there. It's coming up in July, I think. And
We'll be
we
there
get
too.
together, and
Okay.
everybody is able to, whatever you believe in, like do an organization.
Mhm.
You welcome anybody that have anything that contribute to this matter is more than welcome. You know.
Yes, yes. So the call-in number again is 313-427-2032. If you want to call in, if you have any questions you'd like to ask, both June or Rosalind, they're here to talk to you. So feel free to call in. Someone just posted it that's listening in now. I'm looking at the comments from different people online on Facebook on WJZZ Cool TV's page, and different comments have come through. So
What they say?
that was one of the things that they shared. They shared the number and said you all had let us. Anyway, I'll comment if it's something they need to.
Okay. That's
But
good.
yes. So we want you to call in. We want you to share. Okay. So we've had a wonderful time having you all here
Yes.
this evening. Definitely, we want you to come back and share when you have things. You can feel free to call in and let us know about events and things that you are taking place with the CPR program. So thank you both for coming. Thank you for all that you're doing in our community. Again, this is Community Updates right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
Yes.
Thank you for being our guest. Tune in next Wednesday, and we'll see you from 6 to 7 p.m. Don't forget to contact ABB Wealth Strategies at 248-988-8200 and for your strategy needs to help with your finances, whether you're retired or looking to go into retirement. Contact ABB Wealth Strategies, and contact the White Foundation at 248-238-4863, or go to our website at wytefoundation.com and let us know what you need. Let us know what you'd like to donate. See you next Wednesday. Thank you both for being our guests.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It's been my pleasure.
Okay, you think I can come back?